Russ taking the high road. Shannon, do you believe him?
Yes, there shouldn't be any beef. Whatever issues you may or may not have had after 7 years, they should be long gone by now. You can't get mad at a guy for wanting to chart his own path because you did the same thing. Okay, Kevin Durant left OKC. Didn't Russ? Hold on. He got a Clippers uniform on. And before that, he had a Rockets uniform on. Yep. And then he had a Wizards uniform on. And then a Lakers uniform on. Mm-hmm. And for a cup of coffee, he almost had a Jazz uniform on.
Yep.
So he can't be mad at KD when he left. And considering KD did give him a text, he tried to sneak out of town and didn't tell Paul George. The word got back to PG that he wanted out.
Yep.
That ain't none of my business, though, Skip. I don't even know why I brought it up.
Okay.
Look, I get it. I know Russ is tired of being asked this question. You know, KD, and did he tell you, and how much you... Man, people change jobs all the time and don't tell their co-workers. Well, I got to tell you where I'm going to get me another job. I'm going to keep it to myself because you're going to run back and tell everybody else. And before I even get the job, you're going to probably try to sort it up.
Yep.
So I ain't telling you nothing. KD was well within his right. That's a grown man. His contract was up. He left. He didn't ask to be traded. Now, he did with Brooklyn. That's a different story. We're talking about this situation. But Skip, look, they played together for 8 years, made 6 straight playoff appearances, went to the finals, if I'm not mistaken, went to the Western Conference Finals, I think, 4 times, went to the NBA Finals in 2012. They lost. Skip, they had a great run. It had a good run. It wasn't great because as talented as those two are, they probably should have got a title. They didn't. It's over. And if I'm going to take Russ at his word, he says there's no beef. KD says there's no beef. And after 7 years, what's the beef about? Hey, the old lady said, where's the beef? Where's the beef?
Wendy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it should be, after 7 years, there should be no beef.
Yeah.
So Russ is happy with what he has going on. I'm sure KD is happy with what he has going on. There should be no beef whatsoever. KD just became increasingly frustrated that he didn't feel that he could reach his ultimate destination playing in OKC, playing alongside Russ. And that's okay.
All right. You could be right about everything you just said. I don't think you are right. I think there's deep, unspoken beef on Russ's part. On Russ's part, not on Kevin's part. Okay. Now, if we want to go fast food analogy, it's like Arby's. We've got the meats, right? Russ still got the meats, as in lots of beef. Okay.
Right.
Here's what I know. The biggest bombshell that I have ever experienced in a basketball context in all the years that I have covered and closely followed the National Basketball Association dropped on July the 4th, just before you and I started here.
Right.
And it was, what? Kevin Durant is going to Golden State? Remember, it was a 4th of July fireworks.
No, we were working here. We was here.
Was it?
It was in 2017.
I thought it was right before.
No, we started in 2016.
I was on vacation in Palm Springs on that day. I was thinking it was right before we started. Were you sure about that?
It was 2017. We started in 2016.
16. Okay, well, whatever. But that was
right.
Now the Kawhi one was pretty big.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as big as KD because Kawhi is not as big as KD.
Correct.
All right. Now, there have been other bombshells, just for perspective, like Magic HIV. It's like, what?
Oh, yeah, that was 91. Yeah.
Okay, but that's out of basketball.
Yes.
And Jordan
coming back.
Or leaving.
Right.
Wait, Jordan's going to play baseball?
Especially the first time.
No.
I don't think anybody was shocked by the second time, but that first one.
No. The first time.
Yeah.
Those are out of the basketball context. You know, that doesn't involve teams and trades or free agent moves or whatever. All right. What had happened, and again, I've said this before, I'm going to say it one more time for the sake of this discussion, is that Kevin, according to a source very close to him, finally decided, I've been with this still very young player, my little brother Russ, and there's no animosity on Kevin's part at all, except he just decided I can't win with him as my primary decision maker on every possession because Kevin never dribbled the ball up the floor, Russ did.
Right.
And you know and I know, Russ is headstrong. He's a two-guard masquerading as a point guard. He can score it. He's capable of winning an MVP because once Kevin left the first year, he won it. Okay, we get that. But Kevin finally said, I still love him like a little brother, but I got to go, man, because I'm going into my 10th year, and I got nothing to show for it ring-wise. And they had Golden State down, as you keep pointing out, 3 games to 1. That was KD and Russ. They had them down dead to rights.
Yes.
And they let him up off the mat in Kevin's point of view, because I got to deal with this guy making bad decisions, because you know and I know Russ will make some bad decisions.
Correct.
Some boneheaded, what are you thinking, Russ decisions. And Kevin finally said, well, I got to max my opportunity to win a ring. Well, where should I go? Those guys love me. They want me. They flew across the country to Long Island to recruit me. I'm going there. I don't care what the internet says. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to go win a ring. And by God, he went and did it. And he didn't just go along for the ride to get the ring. He was the finals MVP, and he turned right around.
Did it again.
And did it again. So he validated. It wasn't a one-shot deal. It wasn't an aberration. He back-to-backed it.
Correct.
Okay, and Shannon has to sit back and say, okay, I give it up.
He did it.
Right?
He did
okay,
it.
you did it twice. Remember Russ? The first time Kevin went to the finals, he posted that he's watching Sister Act 2 because it was killing him. And I don't blame him because he got blindsided. Kevin didn't keep him in the loop on that bombshell decision. Well, he didn't. I mean, Russ heard it the way you heard it, and I heard it. What?
Well, you say he got a text, but I guess it was...
No, it was after the fact. Yeah, after he knew what was happening.
That's what you should.
Okay.
You ain't in the inner circle.
Okay. So the point is, Russ got left high and dry because Kevin left as a free agent. There's no return on the deal. You just suddenly don't have your best player.
Right.
But here's the point. Here was Kevin's bigger point. Sam Presti always thought that Russ was the better player. And you can scoff or laugh or whatever you want to do, but he valued Russ
a man that's smart.
A little more. A little more. I'm just telling you what Russ... this is what Kevin's point of view was, that they always treated Russ a little better. They catered to Russ more than they catered to KD. Now, is KD the thinnest skinned superstar I've ever closely observed? Yes, he is.
Right.
But I'm telling you, Kevin's heart was hurt over the fact that he thought Presti and all of management catered more to Russ than to Kevin. Okay. Because you want to talk about a diamond in the rough for Sam Presti. He's had a bunch of them, but the number one, I watched, for 2 years, I watched Russ at UCLA with those teams that were really good.
I saw him in the national championship game. I didn't see this.
Could you see him? I couldn't see any of this. The first year, when he was just a freshman there, usually when you're going to be an NBA star, when you're a freshman in college, you know what happens.
You're done. You're gone.
And you, Shannon, can just turn on your TV and say, oh, I can see that, right?
I did not see this.
I couldn't see it. And then he comes back for his second year, and he put up decent numbers. I don't have them right in front of me. I had them for a podcast I did.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
He averaged like 14 and 7 or something like that. You couldn't see it. Sam Presti saw it.
Right.
And he took him 4th overall. And guess what happened? MVP happened.
Right.
And 4 triple-double, averaging triple-doubles in 5 years happened, which you and I thought we'd never see one year like that since Oscar obviously back in 1963. But who thought anybody could do it in the modern age, modern era, because they had more possessions back in those days? Russ did it. And it was all kind of in spite or to spite Kevin. Like, okay, if you left me high and dry, I just discovered this new stat called triple-double. And if I have Steven Adams and I just leave the ball, I attack, I go hell-bent to the rim, and if I draw 2 defenders, if I just leave the ball on the floor and Steven dunks it, this thing starts adding up called assists, which he never cared about. Russ is not a natural-born point guard. No. It doesn't come naturally to him. He had to force it. He had to figure it out. And it never looks quite right to me, but he can pile up the numbers, okay? So, to me, Russ is so proud of who he is and what he has accomplished that he still holds he's a grudge holder to me more than Kevin is. Kevin is live and let live. He just kind of like, oh, whatever, because he got his 2 rings. Russ doesn't have a ring yet. So Russ yesterday kept talking about Kevin, and this is somewhere between grudging praise and damning with faint praise. He said of Kevin, he's probably one of the best scorers I've seen. Probably one of? Well, that probably one of. That's like double disqualification, right? I mean, wouldn't he just say...
You know Russ think he's a scorer too, right?
Does he? And he can be. Okay. So, to me, deep down, remember that first game? We were definitely here. So, because I was once again on vacation. The first time they played against each other was Golden State at Oklahoma City, and they're just screaming back and forth and pointing at each other.
Right.
That's Russ. And Kevin, if you challenge him, he will respond in kind, and he was responding. But I did love what Russ said.
Is that the one that had the cupcakes? Remember they had the
Oh, I
cupcakes?
forgot about the cupcakes. That was in the summertime. Wasn't Paul George involved in the cupcakes?
It might have, but I know everybody had cupcakes.
Yeah.
That was their thing.
It was to indicate
They think Kevin was
Kevin's soft.
Right.
Okay. Well, you got that going on. Will Kevin just let all that go? He doesn't care.
Yeah,
He's
Kevin.
got his rings. He has bigger fish to fry.
Yes.
But I think you're going to see some sparks fly from Russ. And he did say he knows I will compete. Well, yeah, he will. And you don't think this is a huge series for Russell Westbrook? To Russell Westbrook. He's having a hard time sleeping, getting ready for this, because he is so geared up to try to show Kevin,
This is what you left.
Yeah, this is what you left behind. Okay, is it beef? I don't know, but there's still some bad blood that lingers over everything that happened in Oklahoma City.
Damn. After 7 years, Kev?
Okay, but it was unrealized potential on both their parts, right?
We had they were together for 8 years.
Yeah, they did get to a finals, but I was calling them the Baby Thunder. They had James Harden on that team, right?
And they went to 4 Western Conference
They
finals.
did. Okay. And they ended up having nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
What could have been?
okay. All I know is I'm going to be on the edge of my seat for this one, because the drama doesn't get much better than this.
True.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to be on the edge of their seat.
Yeah.
I completely concur. Something is going to go down. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.